welcome to Simply Great Education. You're in Lenny's lab and we are here to talk to you about a fantastic new project that we've got going off. We have here a BBC Master, which is a phenomenal machine that created and inspired a whole generation of people in the 80s. We're going to be talking about this. This was gifted to us by a wonderful organisation called the Mulberry Trust, who deal with childhood trauma and a whole bunch of other bits and pieces. And we are going to be bringing this machine back to life, and we're going to show you how we're doing it. There's a whole bunch of series of videos that are going to be talking about, but what we're going to do is going to very, very quickly give you a quick steer through what we've been doing and a little intro to the BBC-B. So the BBC-B, we have got this in. It was a bit broken, as you can see. A couple of the keycaps have been broken. We've replaced the keys. This is actually a cherry keyboard, would you believe? So I think this one's a 1980 vintage machine. It wasn't working. It was completely dead. So what we've done is we've refurbished the power supply. When I say we, our student Eli has been in and has been replacing all of these capacitors. These capacitors are basically like mini batteries. The whole point of this exercise is to teach people about electronics, teach people about fixing things, and also how a computer works by doing stuff. So we've replaced all these capacitors. These have got a horrible habit of leaking their guts all over the place. They're like mini batteries, and when they leak, they corrode everywhere. Inside of this power supply is a whole bunch of those capacitors. That's been those have been checked and changed. So that capacitor has been power supply has been given a clean bill of health, working perfectly. Before we connected everything else up and tested it on this thing, because if, for example, it's pushing out the wrong voltage or it was doing something really nasty, we didn't want it to blow up this main board. On top of that, we have looked at the CMOS battery, which was basically this bit of kit here, and it was a bit horribly leaky, wasn't working, so we've had to replace it. So we've got a slightly more modern version of that. We've got our little microscope up and running, so there we go. This is the connection, and it's simply just a case of connecting it. So that's good too. On some of the other boards, we soldered them direct to the boards and various other bits and pieces, but you know, as you can see, you know, this board is super clean, shiny. I don't think it's actually seen much use at all since it was originally designed and released in the 80s. So our hopes are that this thing is working, so I reckon we should just turn it on. You can see that it's working. Fantastic. One of the things that we did, we went to a wonderful bunch of people called Retro Clinic, who gave us all the kit and all the instructions on how to service the power supply. And if we just scroll through the power supply instructions, you can see the sort of things that we're doing really quickly. Just scroll right up really fast. We've opened it up, we've looked at the capacitors, we've taken out the regulators, taken those capacitors out, taken all of those out and desoldered them, which was interesting and fun, and resoldered the new ones back in, put it all together and put it back in. Now on the other side, we've got the CMOS battery piece. So let's just go through and see what we've got to go do. So before we go do this, we've got to turn it off, turn it on, press the R key. There we go. We just need to wait for this. So that gen lock inhibited is a menu on, you can see at the back here, a little bit of kit, which is a little Raspberry Pi. You can see the little light flashing at the back there. What this thing is doing is it's massively over-engineered solution to take the output from the BBC, which is an RGB, red, green, blue analog output. We're converting that, so it's a bit like a video capture device. It's exactly like a video capture device. Using a Raspberry Pi, and a Raspberry Pi, fabulous. So Raspberry Pi, tiny little computer, and what we're doing is we're using its HDMI out to drive our capture display. So that's where it is. So CMOS RAM needs to be reset. Turn it off, turn it on, beep, hold those two keys down. It says this is not a language. Wait for that to go. Press brake. Perfect. Now we need to just set up some settings. File type. The language. The mode, which is the graphics mode. No, what should I type it quickly? There we go. Now for last time, hold down control while keeping it pressed, press and release brake. Doo-doo! So, it's the law. To do the standard, we're in BBC Basic now. If you're of my age, this is what you would have typed on a computer in a school, in a shop, or at school. And there we go. Hello world. So that's a very quick intro to what we're going to go do. We've got a whole bunch of mods that we're going to do with this. We're going to be looking at the circuit board. We're going to be modding it up. We're going to be playing Elite. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of bits and pieces. So watch out for this. Big up for the Mulberry Bush. Thank you to them. We're going to be doing a whole load more work with those guys fairly soon. That's it from here at Simply Great Education. I look forward to us. Like and subscribe, all the usual stuff, and we'll catch you real soon.